Class 8. Today we are going to start a new chapter, that is chapter number 4, metals and non-metals. So here we will study about the metals and the non-metals and the properties of metals and non-metals, like physical properties and chemical properties. So first of all, to know what is metal and what is non-metal, we have to know what is an element. So first of all, we should know what is an element. In the previous classes we had already studied about the different states of matter, like solid, liquid and gas, and they undergo some changes. So they undergo physical change and chemical change. In a physical change, it is a temporary change and no big changes takes place, but in chemical change a substance undergo to form one or more new substances. So we have studied in the previous class that when a substance is undergoing chemical reaction, or it is undergoing a change in which it changes from one substance to another more new substance, that is called chemical change or chemical reaction. So the substance which cannot be broken down further into simpler substances by chemical reaction, that is called an element. So we can define an element as the substance which cannot be broken down further into simpler substance by any chemical reactions. For example, carbon, oxygen, iron, copper, gold and silver. These are the examples of elements like carbon and oxygen or iron. So we can't break them again into the simpler substance. So carbon we can't further break down into simpler substance. Oxygen again we can't break down into simpler substance. So these are called the elements, the substance which cannot be broken down into simpler substance by chemical reactions. So we can take the example as carbon, oxygen and iron. These are cannot be broken down into simpler substances by chemical reaction. That is why they are considered as elements, and there are a total 118 elements till now. Non-elements, we know the elements, that is 118 non-elements are there till now, out of which 92 are naturally occurring elements and the rest are human made. So we are having total 118 elements are there, out of which 92 we got naturally, or we can say that naturally occurring elements are there 92 and the rest are human made. So the elements, two or more elements, when they combine together in a fixed proportion, they form compounds. That time that is called compounds. When two or more elements combine together in fixed proportion, they form the compounds. So there are so many compounds can be formed from 118 elements. So we have 118 elements, and all the elements they can combine with each other. Some elements are combining together in fixed proportion to form the compounds. So we can define compounds as when two elements combine together in fixed proportion, that is called compounds. And all the matter that exists around us, that is made up of elements and compounds and their mixture, because 118 elements are there. Again if we will find out the compounds, then 118 elements, when some elements are reacting with each other or combining with each other, they are forming compounds. So whatever all the matter that exists around us, that is made up of elements and compounds and their mixture. Again, if we will see the elements are further made up of small particles. These elements are again made up of small particles, that is called atom. So we can say that the basic unit of matter is atom. So an element has only one type of atom which are different from the atoms of other elements. So here elements, you can also define the element as a substance made up of only one type of atoms. For example, we will take the example of copper and oxygen. So the atom of oxygen is different from the atom of copper. So that is why elements can also be defined as a substance that is made up of only one type of atoms, or a substance which cannot be broken down further by chemical reaction. So this is called the elements. We can take another example as you can take carbon and oxygen, and the atom of carbon is different from the atom of oxygen. So the element is the substance that is made up of only one type of atoms, or we can say that the substance that cannot be broken down further into simpler substance by chemical reaction, that is called element. So both you can say, because element is the substance which is made up of only one type of atoms and it cannot be broken down into simpler substance substance by chemical reaction. So whenever a reaction means a reaction takes place or an element undergoes physical change, its atoms remain unaffected. But when an element is undergoing chemical change, then some changes takes place in its atoms. So when an element is undergoing physical change, then there will be a change in its physical state like solid, liquid or vapor state. But when chemical changes takes place, the changes in atoms also takes place. Like when it is undergoing chemical reaction, there are changes in atoms. An atom, for example, we can take that an atom of sodium metal that is different from the atom of sodium present in sodium chloride. We will take two things, sodium metal and sodium chloride. So here we have taken two things, that is sodium, this is sodium metal and this is sodium chloride. So now here this atom of sodium metal is different from the sodium present in the sodium chloride, because here it already undergoes chemical reaction. Here it undergoes chemical reaction, so the properties of the atoms are also changed. There is in chemical reaction there is changes in the atoms. So we can say that during physical reaction it remains unaffected, but during chemical reaction changes in atoms takes place. So elements have different properties and their properties depend upon the type of atoms they are having. So based on the properties, the elements are classified into three categories, that is metals, non-metals and metalloids. Because they have different properties and depend on their properties, they have three categories, that is metals, non-metals and metalloids. To identify the elements as metals or non-metals, we will study its physical properties and chemical properties, so that we can identify whether an element is a metal or a non-metal. So there are few properties are there which differentiate the metals from the non-metals, or they are having showing some difference, so that you can identify that an element is a metal or non-metal. And there are some elements which shows the properties of both metals and non-metals, that is called metalloids. So if we will take, we have 118 non-elements, so out of which 21 are non-metals. So out of 118, 21 are non-metals, and then whatever rest is there, among them some elements are there which are having the properties of both metals and non-metals. So these are called metalloids. For example, we can take boron, silicon, germanium, arsenic, antimony, tellurium, polonium. So these are the metalloids. These are having the properties of both metals and non-metals. So these elements, they are having the properties of both metals and non-metals, that is why they are classified as metalloids. So among the metalloids, the silicon and the germanium, they have special properties so that they can be useful for making electrical circuits and devices such as computers and calculators. So these two are very useful, because these two have some special properties so that it can be used for making electrical circuits, and it is also used in the devices like computers and calculators. So there are three categories, that is metals, non-metals and metalloids. So for identifying metals and non-metals, we will study some physical properties and chemical properties, so then we can identify whether an element is metal and non-metal. And it is identified that 21 elements are non-metals, and among the rest, some elements are showing the properties of both metals and non-metals. They are called metalloids. And among the metalloids, silicon and germanium are very useful because they have some special properties so that they are useful for making electrical circuits and devices such as computers and calculators. So along with this, you read in your book so that you will be more clear about the metals and non-metals. In the next class, we will study about the properties of metals and non-metals, that is physical properties we will study in the next class.